50 years ago this year, an economist called Milton Friedman made a claim that's had a profound effect on the responsibility that business takes for its impact on society and the environment. This has affected all of us, whether we're employees or consumers, and it's affected our environment and the world of business ever since. He proclaimed that a business's sole purpose is to generate profits for their shareholders. And companies that pursue other missions will be less competitive, resulting in fewer benefits to owners, employees, and society. Now, in the 50 years since, we've seen an acceptance that businesses need to focus on growing their own and their shareholders' profit, even if this goal has had negative effects on the well-being of their employees and of the planet itself. We've come to see that focusing just on shareholders, though, can have some pretty negative consequences for people, places, and the planet. We've seen the oil spills like the Deep Horizon oil spill, and increasingly we're seeing companies that are larger than nation states themselves. While there were many that argued against Milton Friedman's proclamation, and that suggested that business should share responsibility, at least, for social and environmental goals, these were only really ever seen as nice-to-have add-ons until this year. In 2020, we've seen the first steps towards a new way to define the purpose of business that takes us beyond that narrow goal of growing the wealth of owners and shareholders. In 2020, two really important things happened that will create the foundations for a whole new range of businesses and the start of a new generation of entrepreneurs. The first thing was, of course, the pandemic. COVID-19 has highlighted some of the fragilities of our global economy and its fundamental connection to our health and the planet's well-being. But second, there was a new commitment by business leaders themselves to rethink that old proclamation by Milton Friedman and to draw up a new purpose for business, one that will really see a shift away from just growing profit for shareholders towards seeing business as having a responsibility to create value for all its stakeholders, employees, customers, suppliers, communities, society, and of course the environment which sustains all these. This new purpose for business was adopted through the Davos Manifesto for 2020, a manifesto that was endorsed by thousands of the world's business leaders when they gathered as part of the World Economic Forum. Now, for anyone who is in business, this represents a bold new era. And for those who are contemplating starting a business, this creates extraordinary opportunities. Let me explain why I see this as the most exciting time to think about a career in business. Welcome to Business 5.0, where business meets impact, and together they lead to the business of changing the world. There are three core ways that I see business and impact connecting right now. We're seeing the rise of the business of impact. The biggest business opportunities now don't just require us to understand how to grow profit, they require us to be able to connect viable business models with real outcomes for people and our environment. Take healthcare, for example. As we've seen throughout the pandemic, it's not just about making money. It's about ensuring that all people have the best chances of being well and staying well over their lifetimes. Healthcare and social assistance are now the biggest industries in Australia, and there are enormous opportunities to grow businesses that don't just do well, but that ensure we are all living well. We're also experiencing the growth of business from impact. The United Nations has committed to 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and what is clear now is that this represents an enormous opportunity to start businesses with impact. It's what the former CEO of Unilever argues is the era of the greatest opportunity for businesses that emerge out of our combined need to make sure that we can achieve goals that matter to everyone on the planet. Out of this, we're seeing the rise of a spectacular array of businesses who are investing in people, in places, and in the planet, like these real estate developers whose core goal is to invest in ways that enable communities to thrive. And businesses like Powerwells, founded by a couple of business school graduates in Logan, who are making energy affordable to communities who currently don't have access to reliable power, and in the process are recycling e-waste. Finally, we're seeing the growth of businesses who operate for impact. Social enterprises and businesses called B corporations who commit to making a difference for their customers, their employees, the communities they operate in, and they commit to transparently sharing the good that they're doing. B corporations don't just have a bottom line that is about profit, but at least 3 bottom lines that include their social, environmental, and cultural impacts. Businesses like Outland Denim, a B Corp from southeast Queensland, who are not just making amazing clothes, but who are designing into their business model a commitment to end slavery, to become carbon neutral, and to create opportunities for women and girls who are escaping the global sex trade. There's so much opportunity for businesses in this new generation of business. And consumers like you and I, we both have a role to play. And we're actually already demanding change. In the latest Edelman Trust survey, we see that consumers are much more concerned about integrity and ethics than they are about business competence. Consumers care about what companies do, how they do it, and what impact they're having. We're at the cusp of this exciting but challenging new era for business. I think there's never been a more exciting time to consider the future of business and to be part of this growing movement to create the business of changing the world. My question is, are you ready?